online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Okay, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for the final episode of Justified. I know, sadly we are talking to you about this. It had a fabulous run. We love this episode. My name is John Comerford, and I'm joined in the studio by Tamara Berg.
Hey everybody, you can tweet me at Tamara Berg.
And Steve Bottomley.
You can tweet me at Bottomley. I'm choked up over the episode.
Yeah. It was extremely taut and very tense and all kinds of things, and we were going to get to all of it, and I know that a lot of you have just seen the episode, are going to tune into this, and we've debated long and hard about what we want to start talking about first, but we do have to acknowledge Graham Yost and the production crew over at Justified, and of course the good people at FX invited us to the red carpet yesterday, and we're going to take a few minutes to just show you quickly what happened there. A lot of people came over to say hi. Walton Goggins, Nick Searcy, Timothy Olyphant, Jacob Pitts,
Jonathan Tucker. Tucker was there.
So they all came by. We all had them. We asked certain questions to all of them, and we want to quick fast to show you a few of them. One of the first things we asked was, what are you going to miss most about no longer doing Justified? So Marissa, if you get a chance, if you could start that for him, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, let me cue it up for you.
It was pretty exciting to be on the red carpet.
It was a lot of. First, it was gracious of them to ask, and we were happy to accept, of course. And we got to see everybody there at the big gala, and that was kind of fun too.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we're ready? Okay, here we go. This is what we asked them. What do you
work
miss?
with?
Oh, wait, start from the beginning, Marissa.
Yeah, you got to start from the beginning, Marissa.
But I'm going to miss the people.
Miss the people. The people.
The people.
These talented people.
Working with everybody.
I'm gonna miss going to work in the morning.
The toothpick.
the actors you get to work with, and the writing we get to work with, and everybody had something to teach me every day.
Being a part of that world, because it's a very real world when you're there. It feels like real Harlan.
It's such a privilege to kind of come and be a small part of it at the very end. And this character is a wonderful, dangerous, weird guy to dance with.
It's been 6 years of working with friends, really. It's been great fun, and the material's been great, and the actors have been great, and it's just anything that lasts 6 years in this business is a gift from God. So.
You know, showing up on that set every single time was just such a thrill.
I always likened it to like a group of really talented musicians who were allowed to gig, you know, like we were just like, you know, we mix up the dialogue a little bit, talking back and forth to the writers and decide if it worked and if it didn't, and it was all very alive.
Well, everyone was so nice. Everyone was having a good time. Everyone enjoyed being there.
I mean, just learning every day, man. Walton Goggins is a force, and to get to just watch him, even though I'm not acting with him, was just a treat.
I just recently did something where it just every take was just so set up and slow, and I'm just used to this. Bam, Justified, you know, we get things done.
So, as you can see, we had a lot of fun on the red carpet, and so we didn't mention everybody, but we said Jonathan Tucker, Caitlin Deaver, of course, with us. That was Justin Wellborn just now, who plays Carl. Duke Davis Roberts. It was Choo-Choo. It was great to see him.
Oh, he was
fun. He was fun to talk to.
Yes, Demetrius Gross was Errol over there with the toothpick, and of course Jesse Lucan was Jimmy Tolman. We asked all kinds of questions, and we know that you guys had questions for them as well. We asked as much as we could for as much time as we could. One of the other things, in the flip side of what we just asked, we also asked them what they were going to miss least about shooting Justified. So, Marissa, if you go ahead and line that up.
Probably wearing that gun holster. I hated that.
The snakes. The crazy locations. Being in a location at 3 or 4 in the morning and having to recover all the blood with dirt.
Waking up early. I'm really bad at that. I would love night shoots.
Friday night shoots that start at 7 p.m. in Santa Clarita and end at 7 a.m.
This.
Yeah, talking to people.
Lovely. It's the process. It's just the process.
Nothing.
Okay, so there you go.
Caitlin's so cute. She loved, obviously. I mean, everybody loves being on that show, and she was so adorable.
Okay. Did you see how far the line was for people to get into the finale?
It was crazy.
It was nuts.
Packed house.
It was almost a full block, right?
They shut down half the street.
Yeah.
And did you see everybody across the street trying to get pictures?
Yeah.
It was nuts. It was great. It was such a good time and controlled. It was great.
We're going to show you just one more thing that we got there because we want to obviously talk about the episode. We don't have all the time in the world. So we're just going to do the one more, Marissa. So let's get to the one funniest thing. We asked them who's the funniest person, cast or crew, and this is what they said.
Jacob Pitts and I have a good time.
Nick Cersei is hilarious.
Walton Goggins.
Probably, I mean, I think...
Tim Olyphant, Scott Grimes, Garrett Dillahunt.
You know, I think Jacob Pitts is just hilarious.
Tim is the funny, although Walton's pretty funny too.
Olyphant.
We've been asking everybody, and you are widely considered one of the funniest men on set, cast or crew. Would you agree with that?
I don't know, but I mean, I have a good time at work.
I mean, yeah. Boyd's a hoot, man.
Jacob Pitts.
Jonathan Tucker came on this season. He's hilarious.
Walton.
They're all pretty funny. Cersei's funny.
Tim was a fucker.
Jacob's very funny.
I think Tim, but I don't want to make Walton mad, so I'll do Walton too.
Me? Absolutely. Nobody else is even close.
All right, so there you have it from their own mouths. That's who they need to find.
Sorry, we didn't warn people about the language.
Yeah, yes, that is it's justified. If you're worried about, I mean, come on.
No, I know.
Okay. Anyway, the other thing that we asked them, we won't do it now, but it's on the website. So, they did we asked them to do impressions of each other, so they did that. There's also the full unedited version and all kinds of other things they've answered. So that's a lot of fun. So if you want to see what else they said on the red carpet, go to YouTube, the AfterBuzz TV channel, search Justified Red Carpet. You'll see everything there, and we'll get that up for you.
All raw footage. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so enough business. Now we got to get to this last finale, and I was exhausted at the end of it because it was really tense for me. Did you guys?
I'm exhausted. You know how I am. Both of you guys know how I am when I watch these shows. I get really wrapped up in them, and but also, super sad.
Yeah.
Like I'm still a little choked up right now. Partly because, I get involved in the story, but also I'm really sad the show's over.
Yeah, I was too. I have to say, at the end of it, they said that, the screen, they're thanking everybody, and I'm going, I mean, I know it's the finale, we're doing the finale, but I'm just still going, damn.
Really? Yeah. Do you have to?
Yeah, and I thought, they answered everything. I think they resolved everything. So I didn't have any, the only thing they didn't, what is the money? What happened to the money?
Where's the money?
So, which is kind of cool. I like that they didn't answer that. And who knows, somebody might find that up in...
People kept saying there was going to be no spin-off, but
a
couple people left Harlan alive.
That's true.
They did. I was watching, and I realized as I was watching how many different ways they could end this thing.
Oh, they could have gone
as like 4 years later, I'm going, are we going to, where's Ava going to be? Raylan's going to meet, it's just like, wow. The stories were so wide open, even, and when it started, it was basically a scorecard in my head of, okay, who kills who?
Yes.
Where's the hierarchy here? Who's going to die by whose hand?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm awfully damn surprised Boyd lived.
Yo, really? I did too. I thought for sure he was, because of the way they started it with Boyd getting shot. I thought, two things though. You knew they were going to have a showdown with Raylan and Boone just because they've been setting it up. So you had to. So it's like, I don't think they're going to have two showdowns. What are they going to have a showdown with Boone and Raylan and Boyd? So that was.
But I wasn't absolutely convinced that Raylan was going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking,
Boone or Boyd?
No, Boyd.
Boyd.
I was thinking, well, because I agreed with you. It's like, okay, that's going to be the showdown. And it was a great Western showdown, man.
Yeah.
You replace those cars with horses.
Yeah, Adam Arkin, by the way, directed this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's good. But I was thinking, okay, I don't know, Ava finishes the job. That was the thing. It's like you go in with the scorecard of like, okay. Yeah. And by the way, I think that was the first time we saw a bullet in the eye, I believe, as far as scores go.
Yeah.
So
poor Avery.
And Markham was taken care of fairly early. But damn, sitting that, well, I guess we're going to go through this.
Yeah, why don't we kind of start at the beginning? So Raylan's in custody in the beginning of the show.
Right, absolutely. And I love the way he was treated, just like you treated Chalky. Remember
that?
Yep.
Thought that was good. You don't shut up. I'm going to put you in the trunk. And I'm going, that's exactly how Raylan treats his guys. And I just love Raylan's response to that. He goes, yeah, okay, I get it. And he just sat back.
Yep. But I loved how they, did the reveal over the radio. He hears about the necklace and knows what that's about. Yeah. Do tell me, is that about, is it a gator tooth?
Yeah. Nice way to bring that back. And
not that it helped, because they weren't going to listen to him anyway.
Right.
So it wasn't until Art stepped in and claimed him, which, again, paperwork.
Yeah. But I was like, again, it's like just that little moment with him. Told you I'd get you.
Yeah.
Art.
Yeah. Nice.
It's like, how did Art know to be there? And it's like,
because he's Art.
You know what? It was like, the dad picking the kid up from the principal's office again,
What do you know about that?
I read books.
If you read books, you wouldn't be in the principal's office. Anyway, so, Tamara, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nope. I just wanted to talk a little bit more. So we're up in the hills, and I love the way, obviously, Boyd's still looking for the money because he sees the shovel and he sees a nice little way to foreshadow the dynamite and digging and then finding grooves, and it was just so
So
nasty.
do you think that the money was underneath grooves?
That's what I was thinking exactly.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because that would stop you.
Yeah, probably.
If the dogs hit on the money or whatever scent, they're going to open it. Oh, no, it's a dead body.
Exactly, and then leave it.
And my guess is he was obviously looking for, he saw the shovel and he's going, okay, where else did they dig recently? And that was, I'm guessing that would be the only spot. If he'd seen another and he'd come across the body, he would have gone over to the next place. So that was probably the only place that was dug.
Yeah.
All one-armed, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have both arms.
That's a good place to hide the money if you're gonna do it, man, under a dead body. So.
Yep, I would stop.
Yeah,
if I saw, I really would was sick of seeing grooves from the first time I saw him to today. I'm glad I will never see grooves again.
Yeah, he was nasty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and at that point, Ava is forced to have a conversation with Raylan because Markham wants to find out what's going on. So she calls up the cabin.
Boyd.
You said Raylan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Boyd.
Sorry, Boyd. And again, not only was the dialogue so wonderful, but it's Ava still trying to figure out what is my out. What is my out?
How am I going to work this one?
And she's
it was
always
a great ploy.
It was a very good play. Yeah. She's always been. She's always represented choice in this. Which they tied up nicely at the end. We can talk about. In that one of those scenes in the drying shed, I liked Markham's line to her, which was, "I'd say you had a bright future, assuming you had a future."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and he also brought back that whole thing about how tough you have to be, and and just recounting that and everything like that. And I thought. I was just so impressed with Joelle and how they wrote for that character and how she delivered it, and then the fact that she's still making those plays and still angling. Because even at the end there, I mean, we're going way to the end there. Went 4 years later, and he finally finds her 4 years later, and she knows the door.
Jig is up.
She still doesn't invite him in. All that play there and all that nice dialogue, and then he asks, as long as you remove your hand from what I can only suppose is a rifle. And of course, then they take their little walk and talk and stuff like that. Because even then, when you see her, because she's been for 4 years, she's been looking over her shoulder for either Boyd or him, and she carried that well. I really felt her just exhaustion over that.
Yeah, but I will say there was. She's just been under a lot of heavy pressure in the last 2 seasons. Yeah. And seeing her standing there at the door, she had just the little bit of light in her face that we haven't seen for a really long time.
Yeah.
Did you guys recognize that?
She looked great in California.
Yeah, California does a body good.
No. she did look, she looked like just, not the wrong way, but just mature, just not like, oh, I'm so happy to be here, but she looked different. It was,
and if we believe her that she has given all that up, of course, when you have a child, especially, that seems to have not only a huge effect on her, but of course the fact that she's running away and trying to hide and all that other stuff, I'm sure that has an effect on her. But she hasn't done anything wrong. Tries to make her plead to Raylan once again, and so if we believe her, then having the child has made a big difference.
Yes, indeed.
So, do we chat about how she got out?
Oh yeah, that was great. I love that. We don't know.
Well, first of all, I love the setup.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
She keeps driving up to different people. And it's like, no. Okay, so if it was Duffy and he had those panels, he wanted panels for like big ones.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it was. So he had to be paid.
If it was indeed Duffy, and we said
she didn't have the million in her bag.
Absolutely. Well, she had the $9 million out there somewhere. If it was under Grooves and she needs a way out, I'm sure he's gonna go. He's gonna be going. Well, sure, I'll help you out. But I'm gonna be. So it was perfect. But we don't know if that's true. But it's an absolutely plausible thing. And I like that it was. It's not clear for us. We have to figure. You know, it's like whatever. It doesn't really matter.
No, because
at this point in the series, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what happened to the people, not necessarily the money.
Right.
So,
and, you know, I gotta be. I'm happy Wynn lived.
Oh right.
Yeah. And is surfing in Fiji.
Okay,
there, champ.
Apparently, I'm very happy with that too.
The spit take is when it goes in your mouth.
Yeah. All right. So
that was just a little bit, just enough you needed, just enough of Wynn, just to go like, oh yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, it was just a nod.
He had kind of a big thing last episode.
Yeah, kind of.
It was great to have a nod to Ellen May. It was just good. She was at the premiere of that.
Yeah, we tried to get her to come over to us, but she was being shy last night.
So
hey, Ellen May.
It was good to see her. And Limehouse, just a nice little nod to him as well, because you know he was so instrumental in a couple of those seasons.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Who was she talking to on phone? Who did she call on the phone?
Exactly. We don't know who.
Let's talk a little Boone and Loretta.
Oh wow.
Our buddy, our
Jonathan Tucker.
greasy and terrifying friend, Jonathan Tucker.
You noticed Loretta showed up unscathed and protected, which goes to my
at the drying shed. Do you mean?
At the very end, when she's in the truck,
yes.
Which goes to my point, he was only trying to protect her.
He just wanted to protect his girlfriend.
Yeah. Yes, he's an honorable man, and Loretta was his charge.
Okay.
So, what else did you want to talk about?
Just, you know, again, it was terrifying. She was in deep, our little Loretta, and has to go on a little date with her boyfriend.
To go kill Zachariah.
To go kill Zachariah.
Okay, but let's just take the Boone factor for a minute. Yeah, I will concede serious creep factor.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. But
good job, John.
Because of his creed and because of his rules and how he lives.
Yes.
I kind of did think that Loretta was safe until Markham gave him the okay to go, okay, she's yours.
Right.
You know, until that happens, I think he did have that weird honor of, oh no,
well, that's
you know,
his code.
I'll keep my girl safe.
Yeah, he definitely lives by
I
that code.
would not want to be here when, you know, gloves came off, but
right. Right.
Well, let's go further with Boone. We might as well talk about the showdown.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the showdown. It was so Ava and Raylan are in the car on their way to Lexington, and she's still trying to work him a little bit. Is there a possibility for a deal to be made here?
No
because
deals, no outs.
Are you sure about that? And
they just finished playing
the song.
Yeah, they're going by the Harlan County song, and they're playing the song, and then you see Boone, you go, oh no, it's this close. But I just got out of Harlan County. But anyway, so there they are out on the highway. Great setup. We've already talked about the shots and all that other stuff. But I honestly thought, I'm going, are they really going to kill him? And that was great because they let you hanging, and I back and forth. I'm going, maybe okay. I guess he doesn't leave Harlan, and he is. And yeah. I wasn't even looking at the time how much was left in the show. I was just going.
I was.
Well, I guess they could kill him. I guess, okay.
That's because I called it. I said he dies. I said Raylan dies 20 minutes to the end, and the rest is an awesome funeral.
Is that what you predicted?
Just about right.
Almost.
Did you keep waiting for him to get up?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, and also the way that they had the hat. I'm like going. It looks pretty much right down the middle, and
he went down.
Yeah.
It wasn't like soft. He went down.
You always go for the head, Loretta.
That's
that was
right.
a great little callback to him.
So, as far as the amount of dialogue and the timing, it was perfect. I did not want to hear a lot of chatter back and forth. No. I just loved the line, "You're going to leave without saying goodbye," and he just owns that character, and he.
And it was great there at the end. He's obviously shot. He thinks he's going to shoot Raylan one more time to make sure of it. And of course, Loretta is the one that saves him.
Right.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yep.
Again, a great, tie-up.
Yeah, wonderful tie-up.
because he
always looked after her. He always tried to
Exactly.
protect her, and here she is doing return the favor, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And I also think that one of the reasons why that was so effective would have been a great showdown either anyway, however they set it up. But I loved that they had the showdown between Boyd and Raylan first. And that was really taut and tense and anxiety-ridden. And the fact that he didn't shoot them made that one even better. It was a great setup to get us ready for that, because
that was an interesting moment. Boyd decided he is not going to engage. He's not going to draw. But he seemed to really want Raylan to shoot him. He seemed to like it. In that moment, it seemed to be important for him to fully break Raylan.
Well, because it was coming off of the woods
conversation.
last night. He said, "Well, then I've already won because you're so ready to forget everything you are to do this." And I think if I'm going to go down, I'm going to take you with me. And this is how.
That's
by
right.
you killing me.
He knew there was nothing left, so I am going to destroy both.
I'm
of
not
us.
gonna. But you're going to have to do it on your own. I'm not going to help you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
And that's why the conversation in the car had more weight, because he already proved he's not gonna step over the line. So when Ava's trying to negotiate, he's got a basis to say no, I'm not going there. If we didn't have that, and if he didn't get his badge and everything back, you'd be going.
Did you ever at any point think that Raylan was just going to shoot him?
Yes, of course.
I wanted to, but I knew what it would mean if he shot him.
Well, he'd already given up his badge, and he got it back and everything like that. But the fact that Boyd says, "I'm going to hunt her down, and then I'm going to come after you,
kill her, and then I'm going to kill you."
Exactly. And I'm going, well, was that justified? And that's a great, because you're wondering out there, God, well, could he? No, he can't, because he's not.
But in Boyd's mind, he's thinking he needs to tell Raylan this in order to pull it off.
Yeah.
I'm sure Raylan's thinking, it's just a matter of do I want to or not. It's just because I'm sure he knows that Boyd's going away, and if he ever gets out, Raylan's on.
He'll be there.
So it must have just been more of a, God, I want to kill this guy. I really,
he really did.
Really, and who's gonna? Ava's gonna come. I mean, I could do it. He's holding a loaded gun. You should have.
He should have.
Okay, so a moment before that, Boyd.
Oh yeah,
holds the gun at Ava's head and pulls the trigger.
On an empty chamber. Okay, so
I gasped.
Damn.
I did.
Me too. Me too.
So do you think he did that just for effect? Did he know he was out of bullets? Was he counting?
I think.
No, I don't think he was counting.
Do you think he honestly really wanted to kill her?
Yes.
I think in that moment when he realized everything's gone and he's going out with nothing. Yeah, and which again supports the conversation he has with Raylan.
I'm going to say no. I don't
really?
think. Yeah, I do. I tell you why, because he kept saying, "Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me." I think he wanted to see the look on her face when he did that, because he knew he was out of bullets and he wanted her to know how pissed off he was. But he didn't really want to kill her, because I do think he really loved her in his weird way.
I don't argue that he loves her. I think he does love her. I think he probably loves her more than anything. But I think in that moment. Revenge and retribution was much more powerful than his love.
Well, I think you could argue either way.
I think you could too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think is perfect about that, because it's like
that's why it's so good.
And then of course he's out of bullets, and that's when Raylan shows up. And he goes, "Damn, Raylan,
your timing sucks."
I don't know if that was my. I think it may have been my favorite line.
Yeah.
Oh no, mine was, "All right, Art, show him your tits."
Oh. That might be that one too. There were a couple of really
to drink in this bar.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
So that was a shocker moment when
the gun moment. Yeah.
Damn.
What about I'll tear you a new asshole? You can carry a watermelon in. That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So. Tamara?
Boyd, again, Boyd and Ava.
Yes.
So when he finally asks her why.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I also liked about this particular episode, they took the time to do that, because all kinds of chase things, copters, and all very exciting stuff, shootouts and all, but they still took time to do those, because these characters, that's all they want to know. Boyd just can't figure it out. That's all he wants to know. I'm glad they took the time to do that.
And I think that's a relatively universal scenario. When you are betrayed, when you are left, when you are wronged, especially when it's someone that you care about. Sometimes even when it's not. It was just some random scenario. You want to know why. What the heck were you thinking?
Yeah.
And so to have the opportunity for him to ask her that and for her to, you know, to really tell us, because we've seen her go with this ambivalence through the entire season, you know, and really trying to walk the line and figure out who's she going to be and where's she going to be and how is it all going to come together. And, you know, so this opportunity for her to say, you know, I put myself in your shoes and I did what I thought you would do.
And it goes to what Markham says, you have to be tougher than the men. And she has been through every step. It's just she hasn't done it with, well, she has done it with bullets. But she's also
a frying pan and shotgun.
A frying pan,
Exactly.
But she's also done it with, you know, just wits and just.
And she survived. Let's face it, she got out of Harlan alive.
She did get out, and that was her goal. Get out alive.
But Caroline Dean didn't. Of course, Caroline Dean was from Oklahoma.
And I must say, she does not look good as a brunette.
No.
Joanne, Ava needs
she
to
looked
stay
fabulous
blonde.
on the red carpet.
She looked awesome on
my
the
gosh.
red carpet, yes.
Yeah, we were enjoying talking to other people, and we missed her, unfortunately. But
anyway.
So I want to talk, before we go into the 4 years later, just the after it's all done, and Raylan comes back to the Marshal's office. He's got his Band-Aid on his head and everything like that. And this, just the goodbyes that he has. And they did a nice job of rolling those all up and making those things. And it was, you know, great, because it was not a lot said, and it was left just like it should have been, where, you know, no hugs, no barely any handshakes.
Giving each other crap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, that's it exactly.
Art saying to him, tell Winona, hey, I still don't know what she sees in you. And Raylan's response, it'd be weird if you did. Loved it.
Yeah.
Tim wanting his bag back. I want it back.
But I didn't get obviously there was the reference to the book. We just saw that, so we didn't get a chance to do any research on how that book came into be. I don't know. I don't remember it from the rest of the series.
Probably an Elmore Leonard reference, I would assume.
Yeah, it wasn't written by him, but,
but
Friends of Eddie Coyle. So I'm sure hopefully somebody else.
I'm sure somebody
will. Do some research.
I'm sure it's already been done.
Yeah,
many people are going to tell us what we missed, but we didn't have the time to do it. And then Raylan, as he walks out of the office, puts on a new hat.
Yeah, and of course, oh my God!
And now we know why Jonathan Tucker, did not get the hat.
Because he mentioned last week he didn't get it.
Yes.
So, but you know, it was weird. I have to say, when it was great. It was a good. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I loved when Rachel said nice hat. It's like, what? You know, I was thinking maybe he kept the hat with the bullet hole in it.
Right.
I don't know. And then when he puts it on, I went, and it was great. It was perfect. But I go, that looks weird.
Yes, it does.
I just because we've been so used to.
I was so used to him.
And again,
Stetson.
Put it on and it fit.
Yeah.
Which I think is his way of saying, I'm off to Florida.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, this chapter of my life is over. I'm not going to be this guy anymore. So now I'm going to wear
this hat in Florida.
Yeah.
And he did.
Good to see Dave Keckner, setter
in
Florida. Yeah, he's been on the show before.
I forgot.
It was terrific.
I forgot that he was in episode.
So I was surprised that they went to an epilogue 4 years later and stuff like that.
I was really glad they did.
I mean, yes and no, but I'm glad that they did.
Yeah.
You were surprised by it? You thought it was just going to end in Harlan?
Well, I just didn't even assume that they might do that. But, you know, it worked out great and stuff. And it was nice to see him 4 years later with the daughter. And, you know, of course, still eating his ice cream and everything like that.
Yep. Yeah. And it's not a perfect ending. And that's what I really liked. It's like, no, he didn't get Winona.
No, it was perfect in the sense that it was justified because I didn't expect that they would make it because they just, you know, it just...
51-49.
Exactly. Yeah. So they gave it a shot. It didn't work.
And she explains why it doesn't work. You're the most stubborn man because, you know, punk, it has a different connotation.
Yeah, it's like
it's short for pumpkin.
And that was nice. That was, again, a callback to the first episode of the first series. I'm not sure if it was the first episode when she says, you're the most angry man I know.
Yes.
And he says it beats being angry. So he's no longer, well, in his mind, he may no longer be as angry as he was. So he's not the angry man that she remembers, but he's still stubborn.
Yes, he is.
That was a nice little callback as well. It was great that they tied that up.
Not only that, but the guy that Winona ends up with,
Richard,
not very Raylan-esque.
No, not at all.
It was like, I have a nice accountant who gets home at 6 o'clock and watches our shows.
And they're still, you know, he and Winona still kind of, you know, arguing about the kid.
Yeah. Sure.
Willa.
But he loves his kid.
Yeah.
And that was why he wanted to get to Florida.
So that part worked out really well.
And he's there to pick her up from school tomorrow.
That's right. He'll be there. I wasn't even surprised. I was kind of surprised that he was still in the Marshals. I don't know why. I just thought maybe he would, I don't know, do something else. Sometimes getting shot in the head. But I guess, once I stayed with him for a second, of course he's going to stay Marshal.
Well, and so we covered Ava out in California with the kid who is obviously well fed.
Steve, you're so mean.
Raylan says it.
Yeah. No, he did. Yeah, he did. You're right.
He's certainly feeding him well.
Yeah.
Well, because Ava has no spare on her at all anywhere.
No.
That woman is lean.
No. Boyd now is back to his previous job.
Oh my God.
He's preaching. Now I see that and I'm going, man, this guy's working to get out of jail.
You thought he was just running a number?
Well, and he said, he said that, I'm going to get out.
Yes.
I'm going to get out and I'm going to kill Ava.
And here's the thing. When he said that, neither one of them kind of scoffed. They both kind of went, you probably are somehow.
It's probably true.
Yeah. So he's in there preaching. I'm like going, oh yeah, oh hell yeah. I mean, what a great facade to be able to say, look at how much I've changed. And he's a good damn preacher.
Yes.
You're crawling up the ladder. And not a huge flock.
Yeah. No.
And his prison orange outfit, perfectly pressed and buttoned up.
Yes.
Nothing out of order.
He doesn't like to reveal anything.
So I guess Raylan realized, he's probably going to get out. Well, that's why they gave the death certificate. That's why everything's gone. And that's when you see him tear up a little bit. So, and that goes to your thing, like, he always did love her. But if he got out, he would have gone after her, and he would have.
I don't think he would have killed her. You would think he would have tried to help her to get the money.
Yeah.
And then he would have killed her.
And then they would have bought the Dairy Queen.
It's kind of like Markham and Catherine. I don't know that they would have killed each other. They had a weird, tenuous relationship, but they probably would have gone on. I still think the same for.
But that's high society gangsters.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
These are hillbilly gangsters.
All right, but let's talk a little bit more about the visitation that Raylan.
Yeah.
What I mean, again, I'm just saying. As it's happening, God, I'm so glad they took time to do this.
I know. I was sitting there going, I'm just going to relax and watch the scene. I put my notepad down and I was just like, I'm just going to love this scene right now. And it was...
And there was so much history in it. The whole thing about, the hating each other and in a weird way respecting certain parts of each other and knowing that for this turn or that turn, you'd be me and I'd be you, and then the fact that the one thing that brought them together in the first place was that they dug gold together, which is so Harlan.
Boyd is saying the only way you get out of Harlan is if you're not born in Harlan,
right?
But then there's you, and Raylan's listening to go, no, there's another way. You can simply be the right person and do the right thing. That's why I realized Ava was always choice. Ava always represented choice, and her choices finally got her out. And that's what was so great about that scene when Boyd is saying it from his place. It was reminiscent when a couple of episodes ago where he was talking to the guy in the truck. I think it was last episode.
Yeah.
And how he treats people who help him. And the alternative scene, it was kind of that where Boyd is saying, I know how it is. And Raylan's like going, yeah, except you don't know everything. But it's an interesting conversation. Shall we continue? So I love the layered place from Boyd, and just he's so pathetic. He's such a sad character. Boyd. Yeah. I can't. He's horrible, and he's done horrible things, but there's still like.
Well,
I feel a little sorry for the guy. You can't help it.
And it also goes back to first season. They were talking, and we asked the question, and also we learned from interviews that Boyd had always seen that they were friends. That he and Raylan were friends. Yes. And Raylan said, no. And even Tim was saying, no, I'm not playing them like they've ever been friends. We're not friends. And in this last episode, we got to see that play out because Boyd, wants on some level that he wants them to that they are friends, and that isn't that why you're here. You could have met. You could have told. You could have sent a letter. You could have told the warden, whatever. And he wants to make that connection. And even at that point, when Raylan admits, it's because we dug coal, I'm going, well, I don't know if he's really being honest fully about that, or if he just needs to say that because he has to justify why he's there, and it wasn't just to try to let you know that she's dead.
Right.
You know,
so to lend credibility to his story.
Exactly. And I'm just going, there's still that hint of it. Which, and again, you could make the argument either way that, well, no, on some level they did dig coal together, and that's why. But in my mind, he also said that because, no, I have to give him a reason why I came all this way here. Otherwise, he might suss out the fact that I'm only doing it to make him think she's dead.
Right. Right.
Did that enter your thinking at all when you were
watching? Well, I mean, I agree with you. It didn't, because as I said, I wasn't thinking. I was just, you know, I was just enjoying the scene. But yeah, I'm sure that's absolutely part of it, for sure. For sure.
I like to think that when it's all said and done, and Boyd is where he belongs. I think that was the moment that Raylan could kind of go, I guess there was a moment. I guess there was that moment, that 7 minutes when we were digging coal before you went crazy.
Yeah.
That, you know.
That we had a connection.
Yeah, that one smoke break.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And you know, I like to think that that was a moment where he goes, you do get out if you do the right thing. You do get out if you... You know.
I also like that they called back the idea of a sentimentality, because just a few episodes prior he doesn't do sentimental. He's not a sentimental guy, and he says if I allow myself to be sentimental, which he doesn't do. So for good reason. So in this case, he is allowing himself that moment where he can say, "Yeah, I remember back because we dug coal."
And oddly, that little moment that they had really showed so much more of the future. For me, of like where these guys are going to end up. It was weird. It was just that little thing where he kind of nods to like, okay, for everything you're saying, there was just a little bit of a connection. It seemed to give Boyd just what he needed, and it seemed to kind of give Raylan just a little bit of a, okay, this is done. I've
closing the chapter.
I've closed it. I finally said, yeah, you were right for that little part. I didn't have to say it exactly. I'm going back to Florida. I'm done. Because here's the other thing. I don't plan on ever seeing Boyd again in my life.
Right.
The next thing.
Yep.
Hey, Boyd.
Hi, come into
so,
that was nice.
So there was a reason. Not because he's right. You could have emailed me all this stuff. You could have told the Warner.
Well, yeah, but he wanted to. I'm sure he brought all that because he wanted to look in Boyd's eyes and make sure that he believed it.
That he believed it. Yeah.
Right.
And also just to have Boyd know that if you don't, I'm in front of her.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
If you think you're going to come after her, even after I'm showing you all this stuff, you run into me.
So let me just ask, were you okay with Ava getting away?
Oh, yeah.
Did it work for you?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't bother you at all?
What bothered me is she didn't get the money.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because if anyone deserves that money...
We really don't know where the money is. We can, you know, let's say she has it, she's just laying low.
You postulated that she may have actually... literally bought the farm.
Yes.
The ranch she's on.
Here's why I think she should get the money.
Lebec.
Because when Markham pulls you in a chair
yes, oh, thank you for bringing that up.
And says how much trouble you're in, you totally have earned $9 million.
Yes.
Actually, just to work against Sam Elliott and not screw up. In an intense scene like that. Well, and oh, by the way, just real quick, off topic, red carpet, Kylie Devers?
Caitlin.
God, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Caitlin.
It was saying that it was amazing to be able to have that scene with
last week.
Sam Elliott.
with Sam Elliott, yeah.
And just like she said, it was a game changer for her.
You don't always get a good reference. She's a tiny thing. And
she's teeny tiny. And just turned 18, so she's...
And then she's going up against Sam Elliott in a scene and did a really good job. Again, congratulations to her. And, you know, they both did a fabulous job in that.
But you were going to say...
No, I don't remember what I was saying.
Well, I'm going back
to...
Oh, it was just terrifying. Yeah. And I loved Adam Arkin. I loved how that was shot because, you know, you could really feel what you know what was going through Ava at that moment, because she was so resigned and just like when is the bullet coming my way? How much torture do I have to go through before it happens? And oh, look, here's a chapter I have to live through.
How many times did she say we're just waiting for the bullet, and you know it just keeps coming.
And all this time she figured it was going to be Boyd. So now she's like, oh no, it's just someone else's hand on the gun. Lucky me. You mentioned Adam Arkin. There is a team of directors that have proven themselves awesome in this series, but I'm really glad they gave it to Adam Arkin.
John Abnett, Abnett's directed the most, but Adam was the one that's directed the second most.
Consistently, people that we've talked to, they've just said, "Oh, he's so much fun to work with. He gets actors. It's such a
It's hard not to. He is an actor himself, so I can imagine. But Avnet, I mean, everybody talks about how amazing he is on set, how quick he gets his shots, and they shot. Well, he did the shot selection and the whole episode last week with Catherine's death and everything like that, and all that shot sheet.
I can only imagine the difficulty, you know, Raylan, Graham, whoever makes that decision must have had, because again, they've got quite the pedigree of directors that can step in.
And
but
of course, the writing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
4
top
writers.
notch.
You know, one of the things that I wanted to mention was we were talking, I think yesterday as we were heading out to the finale, that that the show is incredibly critically acclaimed, but not huge viewing numbers. But the people who are watching are dedicated and devoted. And you know, it was interesting, the line of people down the street, because they, you know, the premiere that we went to last season, the first episode of last season, was a relatively small affair compared to this. This was quite massive. I think the theater where they held it holds 1,200. And we didn't get in. We had to watch it on TV today. And
we were working.
Yeah, we were working.
We were working.
But there were people, we weren't the only ones getting turned away. There were other people getting turned away, members of the Television Academy, because they were down the street trying to get in.
It was just too long.
Because the credibility of this show, because, and you know, everybody you talked about what are you going to miss most, was that, you know, the caliber of everything, including the food at craft services,
all the departments,
was just top notch.
Yeah, production design, all of it. And how fast the crew works and how dedicated they are. Yeah, it just goes on.
Everyone that had the opportunity.
You know, the thing, it shows in every episode.
Yes, it does.
It shows in every episode.
Well, a quick aside. As the line was getting longer and longer, and nothing was really happening, so you know, you could wander around, and I I heard more than once someone coming up from, like, you know, staff working it, recognizing someone in the line, going, "Oh man, are you working?" You go, "Oh no, I'm a fan."
So many
industry people, like, they're going, "Are you working it?" No, I'm here. I'm a fan.
Just those fans.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
When the industry's turning out, going, "No, I want to see this." And I agree, and I honestly don't know if they could have promoted it more.
No, I don't think it's that. I'll tell you what I think it is, because, you know, when you don't have to hit the numbers that you might have to if you're on a quote network show such as, you know, ABC, one of the bigs. When you're doing a cable show, you get to make the show you want.
You're right.
So you don't have to.
And the trade-off is you're not going to have the huge.
Yeah, you don't have to dumb it down. You don't have to do. You don't have to try to get your huge numbers, because what you're trying to do is make the best quality show. And I think that shows not only in the work, but the response people give to it, who understand the work.
And these shows always, you know, find their home. This will go into syndication.
Yeah,
you'll be able to see it online, and you'll follow us because, you know. You have to.
But that's the thing. I was actually talking to someone else who was working the red carpet last night, who had not seen the show.
Yeah, I know.
And I said to him, it's really worth doing a binge, binging over a couple weekends, and because it's
the guy was working the risk, and he hadn't seen the show.
Hadn't seen the show. God, I'm not saying who.
That must be a rough job. So, you are someone.
Well, I have to say that's one of the reasons why the press people, the publicists, kept coming to us, because they would give us the actor's name on a couple of them that we weren't familiar with, and we were looking at our cheat sheets, and we're like, oh, so and so, you mean? Sure, bring them on over.
Because we knew everything.
Because we could ask legit questions.
That was why. And you'll notice if you look at the raw footage, you can tell when the people, the actors, whoever, the celebs, when they're giving the canned, you know, oh, they've asked this, or when they're answering an AFTERBUZZ question, which usually was like, you know, because we know the show, we get feedback from the fans, we kind of know we're not going to do those questions. We're going to do a couple, just, you know.
Right.
But we try to go off script as quickly as possible. And it's so much more fun.
And we did. Jesse Lucan was one of them, came by. He was on our podcast last year. And he's walking by the red carpet, and he's sort of getting, you know, shushed aside us. And he stops and he goes, hey, I know those people. And we're like, yeah, come on over.
I know. There was, and realized, then I realized there's a lot of friends of the show that weren't there. You know, they could have stopped
VJ
by.
Unfortunately didn't make it.
Yeah, we didn't get to see VJ.
Erica, I didn't see Erica. I didn't see Johnny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. David Meunier, who came on our show as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few, but, you know, Hey, we had a great time.
We did, and I hope that the viewers and listeners really like the things that we got. And just one other little tiny note I wanted to make was Ava's son name. Zachariah, the only man in my life who never wanted anything from me.
He's too young. Just wait. He's gonna want a car. He's gonna want.
John, ever the cynic, just ruins the moment. Thanks.
No, but it was, and you know, it was, that part was very interesting to me when she said that, because you know, it's true. I mean, especially this season. My God, everywhere she looks, there is just
someone pulling on her,
pushing or pulling, and
yeah,
here she's finally having, you know, except for the fact that she's looking over her shoulder, she finally gets to, can you say relax? Maybe that's the wrong word, but the fact that the male in front of her isn't the one holding something on her.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Can I do some shout outs? Or do you
yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So Kate Laddie admonished us for not having seen Kingdom because she loves Tucker. And
we'll get to that.
We're getting to it.
We are.
Trust me, you're not the only one yelling at us about not seeing Kingdom.
Yeah, Chief.
We got admonished last night on the red carpet by
Tucker himself.
We did.
Yeah. And I promised him I would watch it, and I still promise. I'm holding up that promise.
It's locked up and ready for me.
Ready to go.
Kind of busy a little bit.
A little bit. Chief of Wakanda, Joe Josterlitz, our French fan, BGM and ZZ. And then performing sis, Pat Rainier, Dennis Abajian, 242 True, Adel Began, Matrushka, CJ Eureka, Ahmed Hassan, the Henry, and Stephen James, all Twitter followers, and lots of stuff got retweeted last night because I put up a bunch of pictures. Take a look at my Twitter feed if you want to see some of them.
Hey, I'm coming along.
You are. I'm going to give you a tutorial.
Oh, cool.
The last card was I can't even say it.
Oh, to Elmore?
Yeah.
To take it easy.
Take it easy.
Well, I got to tell you, his voice was never lost.
No, I think,
you know, they kept that alive.
To take on, it's a daunting task to take on adapting his work.
That was the one question that we wanted to get of Graham Yost. We were like, reaching out for him, but he was getting rushed by.
It's a daunting task to take on the adaptation of Elmore Leonard's voice, critically acclaimed author, beloved stories and books, and lots of films and everything like that, a few TV shows. But to do this and to do it so well. I can only imagine that they feel pride and also the amount of responsibility they've heaped on themselves to get it right.
Yeah.
And I have to say that, I mean, I don't know anybody, they did. I don't know anybody that disagrees with it, because it feels like Elmore Leonard wrote the thing, and when you're watching it, I mean, it's like reading one of his books and it's coming to life and everything.
I would like to know what it was like on the set in the last few times. Well, when he was there, but also as they're coming to the end, because this last season, it felt like he was there, you know, in the writing, the lines, just like you're saying. And it would be interesting to know if they're like, yeah, he was kind of over our shoulder a little bit. There were times, you know, that light stand fell over and go, Elmore, stop destroying the set, you knucklehead.
Right.
But it was, what a hell of a ride. God.
I can't talk.
Tamara's getting teary here because you're going to miss the show.
Oh. I am.
Right, well, your favorite season?
The Mags Bennett season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know it's a tough one. I really love Mags Bennett, but I also thought this one was just good.
This was a close second for me.
So good.
This was, Quarles.
Yeah, Quarles was good.
That season, that was 4, right? Was that 4?
Quarles was 4. No, 3. Quarles was 3. Mags was 2. But they're so good. I mean, this one for me just had so much in it, and especially I mean, I don't know. I can't really pick a season I like better, but those two are really way up there.
One of the things we kept asking actors on the red carpet was your favorite or your best or your one, and they were a little like us. They were like, really, only one? I only get one answer to that question. You know, I loved the variation that came with this show. There was great comedy, hilarious laughs, really, you know, intricate storylines at times, lots of the, you know, the loyalty and honor code being held up. I love the culture of being in Harlan County, you know, being with the Hill people from time to time, you know, all of that I thought was really beautifully done. You know, gory gunplay and, you know, I will say not enough sex and nudity in this season, but you know, it's okay.
You were really kind of hoping that somehow when Raylan was when Boyd was throwing dynamite down the hill,
his shirt would suddenly fall off,
or somehow Raylan's shirt gets blown off.
I was really hoping that Raylan's shirt would get blown off.
All the guys are losing their shirt from the dynamite.
Oh my
Which
God.
is the favorite Harlan Carney game, by the way. Throwing dynamite at things.
I whack-a-mole.
I was gonna say blow up. No.
I loved the show. I loved the show, and you know, because as I've said before, and anybody who knows me well knows this, that I really get into things when I get into them, and so you know, I kind of felt like I was friends with some of the people on the show, and then we kind of sort of did a little bit become friends with a couple people on the show who you know became AfterBuzz friends, and so I'm sad and I'm gonna miss it. And
Yeah, I'm gonna miss it. What I like best about it is they had a level, and they didn't write down. No. They didn't have, you know, there was times where I had to go to you and I go, okay, so refresh me.
Pause.
And, you know, and by the way, we did this without Matt, the human encyclopedia of Justified. So there were, how many times I go, okay, so what?
Matt.
And you go, no, it'd be like, remember in season 3 when this is like, and there's like, look, you're either going to follow along or, you know, you're not. But they didn't. The X-Pos, when they did it, was so smart and just enough.
Yeah.
You know, hey, good to see you again from episode 3 in the last.
Which is how some shows do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that is something that I really appreciate.
We've been waxing over here. Why don't you talk about some of your favorite things as we're wrapping it up? I know.
It is.
Come on. Make fun of me for crying. Strong, sensitive woman is what I am.
Yeah. I don't know of a show that's tried to balance more and done it well. The comedy, the drama, the crazy Western aspect of it, the Harlan County aspect of it, and it hits on so many cylinders, and it weaves these things in so successfully. I don't know of another show that's trying to do that. And that's even able to do that. And these guys did both. They not only did they try, they succeeded. So it's just
look at the template. When you've got onElmore Leonard,
yes, true. Yeah,
you know, who does that amazingly well. Yeah. But you know, when VJ Boyd was on the show, he was saying, "Yeah, people are like, oh, so what? It's a Western? No, it's a romantic comedy.
Exactly.
No, it's a drama. It's you know, they couldn't even identify what it was." So
yeah, and I think Tucker also said that. He was saying, you know, people love this certain. I love that show because it's a blank, 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 and there were so many different elements. So,
well, we're gonna wrap it up here.
No, that means we're done.
We're really done.
We do. Before we give our last,
it's like if you go to sleep, you don't go to sleep. It doesn't. Okay.
No, we have to. But remember, if you want to see the footage from the red carpet, go to YouTube, AfterBuzz TV channel, and search Justified Red Carpet. You'll see whatever we have.
Also, when I get the exact links, I will tweet them. So if you want to check my Twitter feed, they'll be there.
Hopefully there'll be a link on this blurb too.
Again, a big thank you to Graham Yost and the production crew over at Justified for inviting us, and for FX as well, and for the guys, you know, GJ Boyd, Jonathan Tucker,
all those seasons,
Glass, Jesse Lucan, Ray Erica came on,
David
Jacob
Glass?
Pitts, all those people. We said that. All those people for coming on, being fans of the show, and for watching this and listening to this, and then telling us you know, things that we said here, which they take to heart.
Terrifying.
Not only things that they said here, but the off-camera stuff was great to hear too. Nothing bad.
And
it was just funny.
The biggest thanks I have is for everybody out there listening, for your thoughts, all your shout-outs, all your theories, all your interest in the show, and your fandom of Justified has been thrilled to be part of, and want to thank you very much for bringing us on the conversation and for keeping it going.
Yes,
I'm gonna miss
you guys.
I'm gonna so miss you guys. I'm gonna see you tomorrow, aren't I?
That's right.
Yeah.
You can. I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's 6 seasons and it was great. It was wonderful. You can reach me if you want to at Bottomley, Stephen.
Yeah, I just want to say a big mwah to everybody, you know, both our viewers and all of anyone who had anything ever to do with Justified. Thank you. You can tweet me at Tamara Berg, and my website is tamaracentral.com. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thanks again, everybody. We will talk to you next time on what show, I don't know, but we'll
look for us. We'll look for you.
Or someone's going to kill us.
Go find something else to watch.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Apple pie.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, apple pie.
Bye. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.